Hello and welcome everyone. This is Type V3 with a Gunpla review of the 1 to 1/44th scale, high grade ZZII, the purpose-built Lightning Zeta destroyer conceived by Minato Sakai, which appeared in Gundam Build Fighters Tri: Island Wars. As you may have guessed, this is a modified Build Fighters custom of the HGUC Z2. Thus, of the 13 main plastic runners, only 7 of which are made of entirely new parts. A huge set of polycaps and a medium-sized sticker sheet round out the box contents. If you've built the original Z2, then you'll be familiar with the process here. It's fairly involved and lengthier than your average high-grade release, though it's not so complex that it would intimidate beginners. Gate placement is pretty good, making num marks a small issue. Overall, it was a straightforward build that made me feel like I was doing a lot more than I actually was. Straight assembly complete, and I have to admit, the ZZII looks pretty great right out of the box. It's tall and striking, with proportions and molding that are spot on with the animation art. Colors are accurate and pop with boldness. Part separation is fairly well done, yet the smaller details are achieved through sticker use. There's the red highlights in the legs and in the knee pads, the yellow vents in the rear waist skirt, the green highlights in the head and chest, as well as the yellow shoulder details, and finally the gray frame pieces on the wings. Apart from that last one, I actually don't mind any of the stickers on this kit, as they are mostly flat and look fine. In fact, I'm satisfied with the straight build presentation of the ZZII, and would be quite happy to display it as is. Of course, like most high-grade releases, this kit would benefit from panel lining, especially in key, well-defined areas like the red squares on the forearms and the large yellow vents in the lower legs. The ZZII doesn't appear to need seamline coverage, as all the major ones are either covered up or incorporated into the design. It may be worthwhile to add more custom color options just to break up the heavy amounts of blue surfaces. That said, if you're into the look of this mobile suit as is, then there's not much else to do. Articulation starts with a double polycap neck that allows for plenty of range. The waist is on a ball socket with some range in all directions. There's both a forward and upward swinging polycap in the arm connection. The shoulder pad and shoulders are on individual hinges. There's a bicep cut, single hinge at the elbow, and ball socket wrists. Front skirts can hinge forward, side skirts are on ball joints, and the rear has adjustable flaps. Hips rock back and forth with one another. Each hip is on a universal joint. There's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, and the ankles are on hinged ball sockets. The backpack contains some adjustability with the wings, and the cannons can be repositioned as well. Articulation is fairly decent throughout. However, below the waist, posing options get extremely limited due to the Gundam's design. For weapons, the ZZII includes the Hyper Long Rifle, which is literally the best description for it because it sure is long. It mounts securely enough and looks appropriately powerful. Next are a pair of beam sabers. They're short and pink. They do the job. Also, there's no place to store them when not in use. Finally, the kit includes this peculiar piece of plastic. It's more or less a fake body. With it, you can transform the ZZII into its Wave Rider mode. This can be achieved by separating all of the limbs and components from the core mobile suit. Then you take the leftover torso and head and set it aside. Now you can meticulously attach all of those parts onto the fake body until you have the Wave Rider mode. Yes, it's a parts former, and yes, I did not enjoy having to go through this lengthy process for a quote-unquote transformation. Regardless, you end up with a nice-looking spacecraft. I often criticize, rather harshly, most transforming Gundams due to the fact that they almost always just look like a robot lying on its face. But credit where credit's due, the ZZII's Wave Rider mode is legitimately cool. I like it a lot. Of course, it would have to be, considering that a large part of the original model kit is absent, making this spaceship not nearly as impressive as you might have initially thought. Oh well, that's Gunpla. Without doubt, I have loved all of the mobile suits created by Minato Sakai throughout Gundam Build Fighters Tri. The Mega-Shiki remains as my personal favorite Gunpla from the series, the Tryon 3 is an incredible kick in the face to traditional Gundam designs, and who can forget the boldness of Super Fumina. The HGZZII is the latest in the lineup, and certainly carries through with another striking concept that I am a huge fan of, and as a model kit, it delivers on that front too. It's a fun build with great out-of-box presentation. For sure, it is a bit lacking in the articulation department, and I highly recommend the use of a display stand to get the most out of it too. The ZZII is a kit with more of a focus on display purposes rather than outright playability, and I think that's okay. because when a kit looks as awesome as this, it doesn't need a fancy pose to hide behind. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next review. Yeah.